Okay, sound check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sound check. Okay, looks good. All good here. Live stream is on the green, so we should be up and we should be running well. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you're having a nice Sunday. You're all doing well. And you're ready for some action. In fact, there's a bunch of airplanes here, a bunch of people flying with me, which is awesome. We'll have another 747, I believe, flying to Madeira as well. I think it's a 747-200. A Tupolev 154, as you can see, and perhaps probably someone else. So yeah, welcome everybody. We are flying the Felis 747-200 from Lisbon to Madeira, the famous airport with the circling approach. And never flown the VOR. I made a very detailed tutorial about how to fly GPS circling, and I talk about the VOR, and it's quite similar. In fact, you could even have a little bit of extra guidance for the VOR approach. However, I never flown it, so why not try it? Why not do it? And that's exactly what we are going to do today. Now, of course, I did a couple of test runs for myself. The 747-200 actually landed in Madeira. You can search for pictures online. I believe this is when they increased the length of the runway. A 747-200 from an Icelandic company, I think that's an Icelandic company, was landed actually in Madeira, and that was like the first airplane to land with the new runway. So that was pretty cool, and we'll be flying it with TAP Portugal, so the Portuguese flagship company. They actually did have this airplane in real life, so this is not a fictional livery, which is really cool. And I even have a friend who flown in one of these as a passenger some time ago, so that is pretty cool. So yeah, a couple of things. I'm gonna use this aircraft with the FMS, so even though I will do conventional VOR departures and a conventional VOR arrival, we will use the GPS for the en route section just for the sake of, or just because I didn't learn the INS properly. And I mean, I learned it, but I already don't remember it, and I didn't have the exact time to relearn it again. I have other priorities right now, and I prefer to keep my head clear and free for information that will be actually useful to me. So that's basically it. We're expecting 1 hour and 30 flight time. The winds in Madeira can actually be quite funny, so I hope it's not gonna be too bad, because yesterday it was pretty windy and it wasn't fun, like, at all. And today I believe we had a TAF that said gusts to 30 until 12 UTC, so it's still not 100% amazing, so we'll see. Anyways, the airplane is looking nice and beautiful. There, the Tupolev 154 as well. And the funny thing is, there is that national 747 that's parked right there. I believe that's just delivery compatibility. But I actually saw, at least on flight radar for sure, I don't remember if I saw it in real life, but what a friend of mine actually saw, a national 747. I think it was an 8, not a 400, departing out of Lisbon somewhere during the COVID times, or later COVID times. Anyways, airplane is cold and dark. I have a bunch of ground services connected. Perhaps I should call the bus as well, maybe a little bit later, to get the passengers on, and we should be going. So let's get inside. Flying Mono, welcome. Great to see you here. You're flying with us as well. I see you are on the 7-4, right? It's great to see you here. Snacks, hello, good to see you here. Of course, you are on the Tupolev 154. That's already completely expected. Yeah, hearing you well, thank you very much. Sing Crash Flyer, great to see you here. And dude, 19 months, that is quite incredible. Thank you so much for your continued support. It is awesome. I don't even know what to say in situations like this, but it is incredible. Thank you so much for supporting me. That's really cool. And Filemano, my tab 747 shows as national. Yeah, don't worry, that's just, it's alright. I think we don't have a proper CSL for the 747 200, so yeah, there goes that. And there goes the EasyJet. Slightly easier to fly that aircraft. Anyway, alright, let's go into the airplane. Let's perhaps start from the cabin. That's outside view, that's inside view. Let's hop through the cabin. I haven't gone through the cabin for a while. So just check what's what. I usually actually prefer to not even check the cabin. If I had an opportunity to just disable it to save some FPS like we can do on the Tolus 330, that would be the perfect option. But yeah, I'll try to get this as quickly as possible because I have other business to do on the later stage today. So where are the oh, there are the stairs. So I have to get this quickly, and then I'll have to go. All right, there are the stairs. Let's get climbing. Don't hit my head. And into the cockpit. Beautiful. I'll close the door already, or maybe I'll even let it open. Okay, great. Welcome to the cockpit of the 747-200. Everything is powered off. We have the GPU connected. Engines are off. Parking brake is set. Our chocks is set. Flaps and slats gear and wipers are both off, so that's fantastic. We're gonna start with battery. Actually, stand by. Yeah, so external power is being provided. So that's great. I'll leave this on external power, and we'll do battery on, standby power, normal, and we'll do external power 1, external power 2, and we'll do emergency lights, nav, logo, no smoking of course, and let's see, accumulator pressure, yeah, that needs to be recharged. So let's put the hydraulic electric pump to on. Let's wait until it recharges. There we go, and now I'll need to reset the parking brake. So pump that, set it, and that's good. Alright. Pump off. Very nice, let's go towards the overhead. So this is all switched off. Auto brake is disarmed, and anti-skid armed. Body gear steering, I'll arm that already. The storm light doesn't really work now, so that's fine. And let's put this to nav mode. That's all fine, that's all fine, that's all fine. Nav mode here, this is normal, that's armed, that's checked, that's fine. Nav mode here, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. And radio masters go on. Can do a test here of the stall warning. So that's check. Anti-ice is not required. Wing anti-ice tested, and checking this as well. Good. Window heats are gonna go on. And that's good. Alright, test the lights. All the lights seem well. Yep. Perfect. I'll leave them on bright and set this. I forgot to test here. That. So that's good. Alright, going down here, we're gonna power up. I'm gonna leave this on radio because we'll depart on radio. And flight director on, that's off, and that's off. Altitude selection will not work now. So we'll leave that off for now, actually. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. This will go to 25. Check the oxygen 100%. Test flow is good. Beautiful. Alright, that's normal, that's normal. Brake source is correct. I'll leave this on. Panel lights are fine. Now, for some reason, I feel like this cockpit is slightly dark. Just slightly. Alright, and that works, and that works. Fantastic. So that works as well. Caution is clear. Good. Alright, let's check, that's fine, that's fine. Instruments, gyros are being aligned, that's good. Status, nav database is looking good, and we are in Lisbon. The runway can go 2 meters, and I'll just go and put flight plan. Lisbon, for some reason I found out that you have to have an airport selected here in order for have the ground speed enabled. So I'll just put Madeira here and we'll load the rest of the route in a second. Also, we are call sign Air Portugal 3841. So that's it. I'll execute that and we'll load the route later. Good, continuing onwards down here, VHF 1, and let's pre-select 1228. We don't have any ATC for now. Yeah, we don't have anything. So that's fine. This goes to transponding 2000 takeoff. That's armed into the EPR mode, and weather will go to standby, and that seems good. Okay. Great, let's now come to the engineering panel. I'll enable a plugin for auto fuel management because this is just a blast. And let's check. So, I'll do the fire test here on the APU. So that's great, that all works. Squib test is good. We'll leave that all off. That's all good, that's all fine. Oil quantity is all good on the 4 engines. Prefer to get a little bit of extra light here as well. Galley power off. This is normal. Galley fan, I will leave this to auto. Chiller, leave them all off for now. Essential, I'll leave it there. That is all fine. Trim air on. Humidifier off. Back controls auto. I will do fans on and recirc on. I might leave the gas per on, but I'll just switch it off for now. Now in Lisbon, our QNH is 1022, so I'll set this at 7 to start with, or even lower, 40, and 1022. Just like that, and oh, that's in inches. Okay, wait. 1022, that's 3018. We'll leave that already. Already. Oh wait, that's synchronized. Is it? Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Saves a little bit of time because we have a bunch of altimeters here to set. 3018, and it's reading about 380, so that's absolutely correct. That's all checked. That's all checked. That's fine. And now this is all good. This is all good. Just testing this, testing this, testing that. All good, all good. I'm not going to test that. I'm not going to test that. That is all fine. That is all fine. Lamps are good. Just checking here the jettison. Everything is closed. Fantastic. And on the overhead, you could check the oxygen and all that stuff. But that would be for the flight engineer to test. Snacks shows it's Dutch fly. For me, I didn't find an airport delivery for the CSL. Be right back. Alright. So let's analyze a little bit what we have in terms of flight. What is our route? What is our loading? To start with, very quickly. So here we are. Now I messed up. I didn't notice that for whatever reason the Simbrief floated me this altitude. Probably I know why, because that's a low-level airway, but we'll use it nonetheless. So we'll see. And I've elected to fly flight level 370 to start with. I think it's a good level. So here, 25.46. This is our block fuel. I've already added on my own. That's 1,000 extra, and the reason for that is because I want to fly real fast. I'll push it Mach 85. So that's what we will have. Final reserve and alternate is 4.3. Our alternate, I believe, is Porto Santo, which is right near Madeira. No alternate. Oh, fantastic. Did you not load that? Alright, let me screw that. Let's edit the flight plan. Let's do it properly. Starting with the altitude, and 37000. And auto. Yeah, that's about better. Casablanca. And I'll generate the flight now. Brilliant. Okay. Let's check it out now. 370, that's correct. I need my red pen. Fuel 37, yeah, that's a little bit more. 37 and 381. Route for the alternate. This is our route. So essentially we'll fly conventional. We'll do a conventional departure to Shell. This is the VOR. And from there we'll load an airway Bravo 18 to Narta, then Uniform November 9er75 to Port Saint VOR, because from there, this is when we're going to start our arrival into Madeira. I have this loaded in Sky Vector here. In fact, our airway is actually loaded here as well on the upper levels, so I don't know what's the problem then. Uniform November 975. Oh, I guess I know what is it. It's because here this should work. Yeah, Uniform November 975. Okay, so I'll redo the loading. Let's pre-file this VATSIM, and I'll just do it like that, and file the flight plan. Good. That's a bit better. That is a bit better. Alright, continuing onward with this. Our payload, 37.5, zero fuel weight estimated 214.7, landing weight, we are expecting 236. That's well below our maximum, so that's good. And of course the runway in Madeira is not very long, so we don't want to go fully loaded. Let's see. Weather in Lisbon, it's pretty good. This is right now gusting to 17, not bad. But it's pretty fine. The rest seems fine. Now Madeira is looking 3608, variable, quite variable. Good visibility, scattered 1800 QNH 1024, and that's pretty good. Now we have a tempo. This is the one that I was talking about, but it looks like it's going to be changing. It's going to be becoming. But that's from 15, and we'll arrive well before 15. So this is the time that will actually affect us. So this is the forecast. Alright, pretty good. Our alternate weather seems pretty well as well. Wind is even lighter. I'm gonna skip through the node temps, just check here for Madeira. Do we have here turbulence weight shear detection some mad winds in our trial? Okay. Fuel, this is F-gas not available. Okay, that's fine. And some obstacles. Well, that seems pretty good. Let's just go down here and check if we do have any significant weather. No significant weather, we have that moving in, but we'll arrive well before that. So that's great, that's very great. Let's start loading the plane and let's preparing all our navigation aids. We do still have to do a bit of a briefing there as well, because our departure will be slightly different. Okay, let's come here. I'll do my fast load. Total fuel 37. So because it's 37.3, I'll put 38 then, or in fact, yeah, 37 is fine. 37 payload estimated was 37.5. So again, slightly off. Zero fuel weight expected was 214. Takeoff weight 251. So let's see. Let's keep adding this. 37. Let's do it 38. CG26 seems good. Right into sim. So that's done. Come back. I'll leave this on performance calculation from sim. Minimum flaps is 10, so that's right, and that will be it. Okay, now for departure. Is Vlad stuck in the toilet? No, I think I'm still talking. Is the live stream going? Yeah, it seems to be going. You scared me. I will go to the toilet in a minute because I actually really have to, but I want to first prepare the airplane. So we will be departing via the Shell 6 November departure. For you guys to see it, let me show you how it looks. So we're going to use the runway 02 straight ahead departure. We're going to intercept the radial 126 from Lisbon, VOR 114.8, turn right, for 6.5 miles until me 10.2, then turn right to intercept inbound course 205 to Shell. That would be above 4,000 and above 4,000, above 2,000 there on rock up. So pretty simple initial climb clearance, flight level 100. So I'm going to set that already. Let's set the runway heading as well. Start with 025, and now set the courses. So this will be 126. 126, and the other one was 205. Okay, so that's set. I did that on purpose. Now my question is, can I actually tune in different stations and then just switch over from one to another? So let's say I set Lisbon here, 114.8. There we go, and I set already Shell 112.5 on the second one. And if I do number 2, perfect. Yeah, that switches. Right. This is fantastic. And this is exactly what I need, so I can just switch from 1 to 2. Okay, good. So, in fact, you know what I'll do? I'll even do it the other way. I'll do Shell on my side, because that's the most important. Because we'll use that during a longer time, and I'll set 114.8 on the other side, and I'll have to scroll the courses. 205 on this one, and 126 on this one. Now, before I forget, I'll set altitude selection, and I'll leave this on vertical speed perhaps to start with, and I'll do it like that. We'll do it 1,200 about there. Speeds will be set for a second, so that's already set. Speed bugs we have calculated. V1 123, VR 131, and V2 148. So 148 is already set here. So I'll be looking for a V2 148 plus 20, 168. I'll round that up to 170. We'll be initially climbing up at 170, and because this is it. Codes Brown, Sync Crash Flyer, we're all people. After toilet checklist change pants as required. Checklist complete. Yeah, basically. Okay, so heading is set. That is set. Hello, Ryanair. And because the fueling is being done, fast seatbelt sign is on. Let me check here that we have 37 on board and the weight is set correctly. All looking fantastic. I do not have to reset the totalizer, so that's good. And yeah, that's all. Set to 0 already, so brilliant. We have that, and let's do a first checklist. So this is the custom checklist that I created. Oh, by the way, I forgot to link it. God damn it. If you guys will want to use this checklist, this is a mixed merge checklist that I and Emil did from the real world BA 747-200 checklist, mixed with Felis items and mixed with some of the modern logic and items that I use, or I look into on the 737 and A320. So it's like a modernized, optimized version that's, I believe, really well organized because it scans all the panels and it has a very specific order, so it's easy to use. Alright, power up safety, we did that, so let's just confirm parking brake and chocks. We checked both, radar off, flap lever, we checked that, okay, we checked all of that, and we checked the cumulative brake pressure, so in fact we did the power up safety checklist. Now before start, okay, it's just the before start then, so you know what? I'll wait for this, I'll call the bus. And the bus will arrive. In fact, multiple buses should be arriving. And we will leave them to board. Now I don't want to be overrun by somebody. So I'll leave it here, guys, and I'll have to go to the toilet real quick. I'll be back in like 5 minutes, so see you in 5 minutes. Watch out for the boarding. And I'm back. Alright. Flying Mana, Floppo, hey, good to see you here, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Flying Mana, that animation looks good. It could be better. It could be better, but hey, the plugin is free, so it's fine. Snacks, it's stress before Madeira will head in once. No, I'm fine, I'm fine. Okay, so let's get back here and let's actually load the route in the FMC, because we need to load that, of course. It's pretty simple. It's essentially we fly to Shell and oh really, Vordiemi, that's it. And then we will fly via uniform November 975 all the way to Sierra November Tango. That's it. That's everything that we have to have. Transition altitude here is 4,000 feet, so let me change that, just so we have a correct display here in case we want to use this. And that's it. Alright, next time is set, that's all set. And that is set. Okay, Synchronous Flyer, look, this guy has no tickets. Oh no, we're gonna throw them up. Throw them out. Belagastel, hey, good to see you here as well, dude. How are you? I've seen the 744 yesterday, absolutely gorgeous. That is true. Queen of the Sky, right? Queen of the Sky. Okay, so, guys, we have to think through a couple of things. So, as you can see here, think with me for a sec. As we'll be departing runway 02 right out of here, this procedure requires us to turn from Rock Hop to Iruku, and from Iruku to the OR. So that seems pretty fine, okay? But if we will be just flying on our own and then turning, what will happen is we'll be overshooting quite hardly, and by the time we will regain this track, we will be already over Iruku, and then we'll overshoot again, and we'll do something like this, and it's gonna be very, very ugly. So I want to try to mitigate this, and to mitigate this, because these turns are almost 90 degrees, I want to think of them very much as we do on DME arcs. So, for instance, DME arcs, you guys know, or you guys remember that we did the entries and all that stuff for the turn. So for this one, because we have a distance, we're actually flying a radial, we can just take a percent of our ground speed and then start the turn earlier. So let's say we'll be flying at 250 knots of ground speed, so we use 1% of the ground speed anticipation, so we would turn, instead of the 10.2 DME that's written here, we would start the turn at, that would be 7.7 miles. So at 7.7 miles I would be turning to intercept this 205, and it should be pretty correct. For this one, it's slightly more complicated because we don't have a distance here, right? We are flying almost parallel or perpendicular to this radial, so I'll just assume that I would do an anticipation. So we would need like a leading radial that we know that when we pass it, that's when we're gonna start our turn, and this way our overshooting would be either completely eliminated or at least minimized, and this is what I want to do. So let's assume we are at 3.4. And the formula is 60 divided by the DME arc distance and then multiplied by 1% of ground speed. So let's just assume that we will be at 200 knots ground speed. That seems reasonable. And that's a distance of 3. I'll assume a distance of 3. Yeah, 60 divided by 3 will be 20. Yeah, and then 1% of the ground speed, 20 times 2 will be 40. 40, so because I think 40 will be a little bit overkill, let's do 35. So 35 degrees of difference, so 126 plus 35, this will be 161. So once we pass radial 161, I will start the turn towards the right, to intercept. I hope this works. Yeah, that's about it, because we are really close and we're flying real fast. So that's the plan, okay? That's the plan. And said this, let's start the APU. Let's start the APU. And while it starts, we can do our departure briefing. What do you guys say? Let me just grab my briefing page here. Okay. You guys are ready? Let's go. Departure briefing. We're flying 747-200. We'll be flying conventional departures, but in route GPS. Flight Air Portugal 3841 to Madeira from Shell. No temps are fine. The weather is pretty good, although it can be quite windy and gusty in Madeira. A little bit gusty here as well in Lisbon, but pretty fine. ATS will be not required unless we encounter some significant clouds. Weather radar will be on. No terrain radar here, just the old GPWS. We are on stand 503, and as runway 02 is in use, we'll push back facing the south, taxi via Juliet, Mike 2, Mike 3, Mike 4, towards Mike 5 for full length departure. The runway is dry. Wind is 0605, so basically almost a full headwind. It's actually... Did it decrease? Yeah, it decreased. The wind decreased a bit. Safe visibility okay. Temperature 14. QNH 1022. QNH is already set, and that's cross-checked. Now we'll use full power, of course. Flaps 10. Minimal flap setting for departure. And our V speeds are 123, 131, and 148. We're going to be bugging up for a V2 of 170. Now our thrust reduction will happen at 800 feet AGL. So 800 feet AGL, considering that Lisbon is sitting at 355, so that will be 1,155. I'll just assume 1,200, okay? Then we'll do the acceleration until a clean speed. And whoa, Flying Meadow! Thank you so much, dude, for supporting and for becoming a crew member. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we'll do the thrust reduction. We'll start accelerating and cleaning up, or perhaps I could just continue to climb. Let's do an ADP1. In fact, let's do 800, 3,000. So at 3,550 or 3,400, we'll start accelerating to 250 knots. Okay, clean up and acceleration. So we'll keep the configuration to start with, so we comply with the departure. Don't speed up too much, and that's it. Flying Mano, sorry I didn't know this made a pop-up. Dude, no need to say sorry. I'm actually thankful. That's incredible to have a new crew member. Thank you very, very much. Alright, so that'll be it. And then we will, of course, depart via the Shell 6 November departure on page 10-3 hotel. This is effective from 16th of May 2024. Transition altitude is 4,000. After takeoff, contact Lisbon approach and passing 1,000, mentioning only call sign passing altitude or radio frequency as announced by IAT's departure. SIDs are also nice about routings. Well, we have to adhere to them, that's all fine. Max 250 below flight level 100, unless otherwise advised by ATC. MSA for us applicable. We are within the 3,000 feet sector. By the way, MSA is based on the Lisbon VOR. Pay attention to that. So as long as we don't fly straight ahead, 3,000. If something goes wrong and we have to continue straight ahead, that's where it will be. It will be 4,000. So we'll keep that in mind. And our departure is pretty simple. Initial climb clearance flight level 100 is already pre-selected, and we'll climb straight ahead to rock up, turn right, intercept Lisbon radial 126 to Ruku, then turn right, Shell 025 inbound to Shell. Pretty simple. Above 2,000, above 4,000 on Ruku, and above 4,000 to Shell. We can comply with that with no problems. Alright, The radio navs are set. We've got Lisbon 114.8 on nav 2 with course 126 set. Shell 1 12.5, course 205 is set. We need to remember we'll use the RMI to check that which radial are we going to be crossing. We have the leading radial, which was 161. Take notes, 161 leading radial. So when the tail of the needle will pass 161, which should be right this one. This is VOR2. As this passes 161, we'll start the right turn to intercept the radial 126 of Lisbon. So that's pretty simple. We use the autopilot, of course, and ADP is all briefed, no special considerations, and rejected takeoff because this is a Boeing until 80 knots. We stop for any malfunction between 80 knots and V1. Only for significant ones like engine fire, engine failure, wind shear alert, pilot incapacitation, or anything else that will affect the safety of the flight, in which I will call reject, but the thrust to idle, apply maximum reverse. Max manual braking because we don't have an auto brake for rejected takeoff. And once we stopped, we set the parking brake, call cabin crew attention, and advise CTC and assess the situation, of course. Which is going to be probably just shut down everything because I don't know exact procedures for this airplane. If not, we'll continue straight ahead. We'll climb to at least 4,000 feet or at least 3,000 feet. Maintain ourselves over the water. This is the important part. So keep ourselves over the water to avoid any cities. There's quite a lot of oh my god, I'm missing the term. Whatever, houses. So we'll avoid that, and then we'll just return for the ILS runway 02. So I kept the chart already on. So that's great. Now, are we overweight for landing in case we return? That's a good question, because we departed with 251 and maximum landing weight is 285, so we're not even overweight. And other than that, no considerations, so that's fantastic. The briefing is complete and we can start. Oh, Ekaterina, great to see you here. Flymano, don't worry, you did not interfere with the briefing. And thank you very much once again. Aviation Lifestyle 24, hi sir, I'm considering buying this add-on, but I wanted to ask you about how practical is it to fly on Vatsu with the LTN 92. First things first, welcome to livestream, great to see you here. And second, this is a great airplane. I don't know how to use the LTN 92. That's probably something you might ask for people who actually fly it. In fact, you can see that I'm flying it with the FMS. There is the INS, of course, and as long as you know what the limitations are for the LTN 92 in terms of radio navigation precision, because for instance some routes require higher performance navigations than the LTN 92 can do. So as long as you understand that, I believe there will be no problem with it. So it's a great plane, great sounds, great looks, great workload, but pretty cool airplane. So if you like it, go for it. You will not regret it. It's pretty awesome. And especially considering that you can have the cargo version, which I don't yet have, but a lot of people has, and they love it as well. It is a pretty neat airplane. Walney, hello everyone. Hey, dude, welcome to live stream. Great to see you here. How is your progression with the sceneries? And LTN 92 can do RNAV. Yes, it can. It just you just have to know which RNAV can it do, because the requirement can be below RNAV 1, or I don't know if it can do RNAV 1. I don't think it even can do RNAV 1. I think it's up to RNAV 5. Just as Flymano said, I think the RNAV 5 is the maximum or the minimum it can do. So you have to just pay attention to that, because even in Europe, if you're flying, I don't think RNAV 5 is enough to do a lot of stuff. So, but that's all right. Okay, we did all that. We did the briefing. We did this. APU has been running for a little bit already, so let's just power it up. Let's switch over to the APU. Let's put the bleed on. Let's check that we have the bleed. Yes, we have. Valve is going to come on, and I want to put some power in for the cabin, because it might be a little bit, just a tiny bit, hot in the back there. Okay, now let's come here, external. Let's disconnect the GPU. Let's remove the chocks. Let's close doors, close cargo, and I'll start to remove stuff as well. Brilliant. Hello, Welling. Let's start pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to ground
Exactly.
to cockpit. Stow is driving
Let's
up.
go beacon light on. Oops. Beacon light on, and before start checklist. So, before start, doors are closed. Flight deck door closed. Flight controls hydraulic panel are all guarded and closed. Anti-skid on. Body gear steering is, I believe I've armed it. Yes, I did. Auto brake off. Window heat on. Radius, INS, GPS, nav, and set. Altimeter and flight instruments. So we've set the altimeter, that is checked, and we've got the heading on both sides. It's reading the same, and it agrees with the compass, so that's good. We checked the annunciator lights, and start levers are all cut off. Weather radar is standby and range set.
Ready to connect.
Passenger oxygen. Now, passenger oxygen is something to check here. It's above 1,500 psi, so that's good. Galley power is off. That's the control. Yeah, that's all fine. Yeah. Galley power is all off. Ducts and pressure pack. So I'll leave one pack on. We'll switch it off in a minute. Pressurization is on auto. Cabin altitude is set. We'll assume we'll be flying flight level 400. Air-driven pump 1 or 4. I'll put number 4 on. And gross weight totalizer fuel used is reset and fuel set. Fuel pump and block fuel and pumps. We've got 36.9 on board. Pumps are on. Beacon is on. And we'll already arm the start valve. Alright. Before start checklist is complete, start sequence is 4123 as per BA. Brilliant. We are ready to start. So, I guess brakes are released. We are clear to go.
Starting pushback. You may start the engine.
Once the airplane starts to move, I want to put off block time. There we go. Fantastic. And let's start. Starting by number 4. So, number 4. There we go. Start valve is open. We've got N2. Close the pack. There's 20% N2 fuel on. We're watching the fuel flow, EGT, and N1 is on the rise. Start valve shut off. Good, engine is being stabilized. Let's start number 1. Start valve open. We've got rotation. There's 20% fuel on. Got fuel flow, EGT, and N1 on the rise. Well, the incinerators are going quite well. Working currently on a small airport in Tajikistan, not included in the X-plane yet. Oh, interesting. Alright, looks like we have a good start. Let's continue number 2. Start valve open. We've got rotation. And that was 20% fuel on. There's fuel flow EGT.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set, clear disconnect.
Connecting tow. Stand by.
That's very good. That's started cut off. Let's go for number 3. Start valve open. We've got rotation. And that's 20% fuel on. We've got fuel flow, EGT, and N1 on the rise. Aviation lifestyle. How do you descend accurately without the VNAV? This aircraft does not have a VNAV. You have to make some calculations. You will be able to see if you want on a later stage.
Now is disconnected.
Right, brilliant. Starter valves
signal on the right. We'll see you
are
next time.
closed, so let's disconnect the start valve. Engine ignition to on, probes on. We can now go ahead and put all the hydraulics on. Packs on. Connect gens. Disconnect the APU lead. Disconnect the APU. Galley power on. This goes to auto. There's the hand signal. Wait. Cargo heat. Where's the cargo heat? Is this it? No. There it is. Alright, I think that's everything we have here. Let's set flaps 1, 5, 10. Set. Do a flight control check. Full up. Full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Our trim was supposed to be at 3.9 units. Probably nose down will be required. 3.9 is set. Everything is set. Anti-skid hydraulic, that's because the parking brake is set, and that is fine. So yes, aviation lifestyle is just a couple of mathematical calculations. You will be able to see them happening soon. Alright, after start checklist, start valve off, electrical, generators on, no lights, essential, forgot this one, essential is normal, so all looking good. Packs, air conditionings are all set. Aft cargo heat is normal. Hydraulics, auto, and normal. Ignition flight start, anti-I is not required. Probe heat on, stabilizer trim 3.9 units set, no lights. Rudder and aileron trim, we've got... Oh, this is not zeroed. Oh no, never mind, it was. It's zeroed. And... zeroed. Fantastic. After start checklist is complete. Lights on. Brakes are released. Let me just check that we have no ATC. Yep, no ATC. And let's give a call. Lisbon traffic, Air Portugal 3841, heavy taxiing via Juliet, Mike to Mike 5, holding point runway 02, Lisbon traffic. Alright, checking the brake, right one works, left one works, so off we go. I see Mono has already pushed back as well. Now let's power the weather radar to normal. That's all set, that's all set. Now I don't need the dome, I just want the center. Yeah. Snacks, wait guys, Vlad is moving on VATSIM. Why, do you guys have sound? Can you hear me?
Richmond traffic airport sugar 1689, action for runway 02 via Alpha, uniform, November 2.
Alright, clear on the left. Clear on the right. He's pushing back. Yes, I am. Aviation lifestyle. What if I use SIM GPS option in the FB and use LTN 92? Let's say there are only RNAV seat stars from the airport will be provided radio vectoring on request and such. Yes, you should be, as long as you tell them. As long as you tell them. I think so. That's actually a question for VATSIM ATC. Perhaps Belagastel actually controls in Copenhagen. Maybe he can provide you with some information. Okay, remember that this is a huge airplane. We're sitting pretty high up. And you do not feel the speed, so I'm trying to taxi with a lot of caution here. Are we gonna tip the wing? No. You can request such a flight to Polevs and VATSIM, and if the ATC doesn't have a huge workload, he can accommodate you. Yep. We flew 720 a few times in VATSIM, and that didn't even have GPS like at all. And pretty fine, like that. The guy takes it. Okay. Taxi checklist. Flight controls are checked. Speed brake is down. Flaps 10 degrees set. No lights. Altimeters, flight instruments. So we check that. No flags. Annunciator lights are checked. Takeoff speeds in box. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, and 1, 4, 3. 1, 4, 8. Sorry. Yeah, that is set. EPR was set as well. And weather radar is on. So that's fine, and the takeoff briefing says straight ahead until leading radius 161, then a right hand turn to intercept the 126, which should be first, and above 2000, then above 4000 we intercept the 205 inbound to Shell VR. So that's pretty good. Taxi checklist is complete, just as we are arriving near the runway. It's a very, very short taxi. Alright. Snacks, hello, now I have the stream feed. Ah, okay, so I was worried. I was worried that there was something wrong with the live stream, that you weren't able to see it. But it seems to be working. Alright, before takeoff, packs, we'll leave them on. Brakes, temps are fine. Transponder, TARA. Let's just stop here for a second. Cabin crew, seats for departure. And on lineup, body gear steering off. Alright, before takeoff, checklist is complete. So, left side is all clear. Let me just check on the map. There is no one on approach here. Yep, doesn't seem like there's anyone here. Lisbon traffic, Air Portugal 3841 heavy, lining up runway 02. We'll depart via Shell 6 November departure, Lisbon traffic. Alright, strobes on, landing lights on. Oh boy, we're doing this. We are doing this. Dude, I feel a little bit excited. A little bit like, yeah, it's gonna be challenging. Even considering I did my practice runs, I still feel like this is gonna be a little bit challenging. Did I overdo it? I actually did overdo it a little bit. Alright, stop here, body gear steering off. And we're ready to go. You guys are ready? Let's pull the GTD9 to 40% as stabilized. Clock on. EPR. Yoke forward. EPR set. That's checked. Speed is alive. There's 80 knots. V1. Rotate. And we're reaching V2. Positive right, Europe. and pitch for 170. That's there. Let's go 170. Let's go IES. Autopilot, we need to do thrust reduction. Climb power. Altitude selection. That was a bit. Alright, let's say. Yep, we're passing 161 now. Let's start the turn to intercept. Lisbon Traffic Air Portugal 3841 airborne, passing 2400. Oh wait, no. Did I botch that? Yeah, a bit. Okay. Fine. But not by a lot. Alright, let me close that. Close this. There it is. Let's go Warlock. Oh, we passed above 2000. There's 3400. Let's go vertical speed. Pitch down. Let it accelerate. I want to go 250 knots. Let's go flaps 5.
This was traffic airport to ground 1689, landing over runway 02, southwest departure via Echo Sierra Papa 6 November departure.
Yes, it's still overdid it a little bit. Let's do it like that. Heading set. There's 7.8, switch this to this, and turn. Above 4,000, transition altitude. QNH 1013, set here, flaps 1. That's set. Let's do Warlock. And flaps up. These lights off, ignition off. Wait until it accelerates to 250, and we'll set IES. IES mode. We'll now slate the speed, and we're climbing after takeoff checklist. Alright. Gear up, no lights. Flaps up, no lights. Ignition off. Packs on. Pressurization is working. Altimeters checked. I'll set this to 29902. And this one to 29902. And that's to 10,000 feet. Beautiful. We have departed. Goodbye, Lisbon. By Lisbon. Okay, and because we should not stop, let's yeah, that's fine. What I was thinking. Let's continue to climb.
1689, traffic approaching starting departure runway 02, Echo Sierra Papa 6 November departure, Lisbon traffic.
370 set. And we're now flying direct to Shell. We have 14 miles to go, and from Shell we're going to join the airway. Because we'll join the airway, I could already select a direct to via the GPS. And from that point onward, we'll fly direct to via the GPS. It's a beautiful departure. You can see the entire city. Beautiful, beautiful place. And past 10,000 feet, so let's go vertical speed. Drop the nose for the plane to accelerate. Land lights off. Logo off. And I want to maintain a speed of 300 on the climb out. $11 miles to go. In fact, I could already switch to this. So execute. Let's switch this to INS. And INS on. We are looking good now. Switch the other one to... Actually, I could have just let it there. Speed is out. Is increasing. Good. It's funny how the trim sounds. The clicks of the trim, pretty funny. Past 13,000. Almost at 300. And IES hold. And I'll keep IES until Mach 0.78. There, I'll switch over to Mach number. It was a strange bug. Ah, okay, snacks. Good. Okay, so everything is fine now. That's great to know. There's the turn. Fantastic. Now the heading doesn't work, but I'll set it regardless. This is something like 231. So I'll leave it at 231. We're doing good. So far, no problems. Everything seems to be pretty calm. Systems operate. Okay, let's put this to 50 miles. Yep, that's on. Gain is on auto. Working great. I'll wait until we pass these clouds, and then I'll disable these seatbelt signs. I actually flown here. The VFR traffic arrival into Cascais, which is an airfield located right there. I've flown to this airport, and I will very soon again, is actually, you have to arrive from here, because we fly from Évora, so we come from there, we fly like this, we pass in the middle of these mountains, I believe right here, or maybe here, no, right there, yeah, like that, we fly here, you come here, and then you fly across this coast, low level, because there is the ILS guys approaching towards Lisbon, and then you do the approach. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Aviation lifestyle. I think I will surely buy this plane soon. Such a different experience compared to modern Airbus and Boeings. When is the next sale expected for this aircraft? Aviation lifestyle. Yeah, that's very well said. Indeed, it's quite a different experience, and it's actually very rewarding. I feel like sometimes when you do some of the flights, you know, it just becomes very ordinary, and with this one, you have to think about a lot of stuff, and it's great. It makes you think, and I believe that it makes you understand better what the other airplanes are doing automatically. So you start to value more things, and you start to understand more about the energy of the airplane, like how to manage it, what should you do, etc., etc. So I think it's a great airplane. If you do not want to go already in with the money on it, what I can suggest you is the closest you can get to this one is the freeware B720 from Shanxi. That's a very, very good bet as well. The autopilot is not as good as on this one, but it works. And in terms of flying, I believe that one is even a little bit more simplified than this one, because this one actually has the full-blown systems. You have so many things at the same time. It might be a little bit complicated if you go from just being used to fly like Airbuses and so on. So maybe try the 720, see how you like it, and then go for this one. Yeah, it's looking beautiful. I love the way these engines look. Yeah, this is now a properly lit cockpit, which makes total sense, because now it's dark again. Like, why is it so dark, dude? If I go here and I come back, after some time it actually becomes fine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's the problem with the dark cockpit of the Felis. Alright, as you can see, we're maintaining our indicator of 300 and our Mach number is increasing. Once we hit Mach 7.8, I will switch this to Mach hold instead of IES hold. We're climbing pretty well. It's EPR climb mode. All looking good. All looking fantastic. I just want to go above this layer of clouds, because usually below the clouds you still have a little bit of turbulence. And the miles here, for whatever reason, are not being updated. Ah, no, never mind, they are. What the hell? I just looked at it at the same time as the other one. Good. Great. So that suddenly I saw you moving on Vatsy map and I was like, what the hell? Yeah. Let's go. Take off. Okay, thank you guys. Continuing, I can't wait to land and go to the beach. Yeah, that would actually be a pretty nice experience to do. That's a fact. That is a fact. Now, guys, I didn't bring any aviation topic for this cruise portion because I had other things to do, and I just decided that I will be resting. I prefer to be resting this time. So we'll just do a relaxing cruise today. But we will have a very thorough preparation for the approach in Madeira, because that requires some preparing to do. Said this, I'll probably already switch VORs to 112.2. Looking beautiful. How's the Mach number? 75, still increasing. Good. I love the cloud surfing experience. Absolutely incredible. Alright, because we're above the clouds, seatbelt sign can come off. Mach 7.7. Almost at flight level 300. And there's Mach 80. Which is the Mach number. Now our climb rate will increase a little bit, and that's great. It's wonderful. Alright, heading is about the same, so looking good. Everything seems fine here. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Let's see, where are the boys behind me. Check Vatsy radar. There I am, look. Yeah, see here I overdone it a little bit. Should have waited maybe a tiny bit more. But that wasn't too bad. Here's what the autopilot did. So we did a pretty good job on intercepting. And this here was pretty nice. It was actually pretty straightforward. So let's see, there is Air Portugal 1689. Here is snacks. Are you taking a different route? Olvad Galpa Raku. Oh yeah, you are taking a slightly different route. Indeed. You are doing a slightly different route. And let's check here. Yeah, exactly the same as mine. Great. Very nice. Let's see, do we have a lot of traffic coming into Madeira now? Probably this one. No. This one? Yeah, one. No. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that seems that's gonna be pretty okay. Alright, altitude selection is armed. Flight level 370. Do we have a performance value here? I'm curious. Cruise altitude 370. No, I don't think we have any, like, optimum and stuff. I don't believe it. Alright, can't change that. That's fine, we don't need that anyway. Let's see, we did that after takeoff is completed. I'm not going to turn on the humidifier until we reach top of climb. And once we reach 1,000 level, I'll drop the vertical speed to 1,000 feet a minute. This will allow the airplane to accelerate slightly faster, although it's already dropping to that almost. Seems like a bit of winds. So let's go vertical speed in a moment. Vertical speed plus 1,000. Make a smoother level off for the passengers while adding a bit extra. That's checked. Or maybe not even that much extra. Let's tune in. Let's tune in port set first. And I want this one to the INS as well. Let's do dual number 2 first. 114.9. That's going to be port sent and Madeira 112.2 set. We have no coverage now, that's alright. And we are leveling off, accelerating on the flight Mach 0.85. So I'll let the plane now accelerate, and once it gets to 8.5, I will switch it over to Mach number. Seems to be working normally. Seatbelt sign is off. 20 minutes after departure, we leveled off. Pretty good. There's Mach 84. And there's almost 85. is 85, so let's go Mach number. Switch this to cruise. Auto thrust is now working. And we'll be adjusting accordingly. Now, because we're nice and level, we'll be switching this over to altitude hold. Just like that. This way I can now move the altitude window without problems. Alright, very good. Very nice. So this is not a very long flight. And in fact, I think it would be a good idea to already start looking into what lays ahead of us, because what lays ahead of us is slightly different than just simply flying a GPS approach. It's not hard, but it requires some attention. So I suggest we spend that attention right now. And we start by looking towards the charts. We do not have, I mean, we have contingency arrivals, but they don't really go the way I want to do it. So we have this one that goes to Funchal, but again, this is not perfect. So what I'll do is we'll be starting from the circling. This is the initial approach, circling of 05 to Madeira. The winds should be to that one. Yep. 030, 12 knots variable between 320 and 050, so this is going to be nice. QNH 1024, and the clouds are fine. Fuel 1800, and that's good. The funny thing is, usually the minima on GPS approaches, or let's say more precision approaches, are slightly lower than on the VOR. In this case, they're actually similar. So here's what we're going to do. We have our GPS navigation, or whatever, our internal navigation is flying direct to Port Saint right now. Once we get a signal from Port Saint to VOR, and it will be stable enough, we'll be switching over to the VOR again. We'll be proceeding direct to Port Saint. From Port Saint, we'll fly outbound on the 261 until 7.5, and then we'll turn left to intercept the 211 course towards Funchal. Now, 211 is very important here because it's already going to be our final approach course. Okay, and we'll fly towards Abusu at 3,000 feet. Now, we have 3,000 feet here as well at Port Saint, but I think it would be a waste of fuel and a waste of time flying all of this at 3,000 feet. It's not much. It is not a very long flight, but I think it would be a waste of time and waste of fuel. Now, being at Abusu at a certain configuration, at a certain speed, is going to be crucial for the outcome of the approach, and we'll see why in a second. And we'll come back to the altitude at which we should be here above Port Saint in a second, okay? So, if we jump for the next one, this is the circling VOR for running 05. We are approaching from Abusu. This is the initial approach fix. So there are a couple of approaches that can be done here. There is one where you can arrive for Abusu and you have to do the racetrack procedure in order to be established for the final approach course, or you arrive via the Funchal initial approach fix and you have to do the base turn, or you can do it this way and turn back and etc., or you can do the one that we are going to be doing, that's proceeding direct, already established on the 211 for Abusu. Okay, why is configuration so important? Very simple, because Abusu is located at ATME and our final approach fix is at 7. Okay, so at 7 we're going to have to start a descent until our minimum descent altitude, which is going to be 940 feet. Now, because our autopilot does not allow us to put 940, and because this is an MDA, and MDAs usually require have mandatory operational margins increased, we could assume we would add 50 feet, so that'll be 990. Our autopilot can only take 1,000 feet, so that's exactly what we're going to be flying. We'll be descending until 1,000 feet and joining the traffic. So, why is it important to be at a certain configuration and speed at Abusu? Right, because we will be initiating the descent towards the MDA. And even though we have a little bit of time, it's still good practice to have it configured just before that. I actually talked about that on my tutorial. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, alright? We're going to be slowing down before Busu. Probably, I would maybe do like 170 or even 160 with flaps. Probably I would do even flaps 20 because this airplane is quite slippery, so it's very hard to slow down if you don't have it configured. So this is what we'll do. And we'll start this descent. I'll be continuing my configuration while we do the descent, like gear down, all that stuff. And then we'll level off. Once we level off, or just before leveling off if we have the time, we do the landing checklist, and then it's going to be all visual. Because, as you can see here, we will initiate the descent when flying towards the VOR. We're going to pass the VOR. You're going to continue onward until 3.6 on the 211 still. And at this point, if you see the runway, good, you can continue. Otherwise, it's a missed approach, and you fly left on a heading 137, and you fly to Fusul for the missed approach, essentially. All right. And the Fusul is, by the way, on the radial 170 from Funchal, so we have our backup stuff loaded. So I think it's good that we load this course for the standby or the navigation too. Alright, what do we do once we reach 3.6? We're going to jump to the next page, which is this one. This is the visual segment chart. So this is the missed approach point. The 3.6 is where we would be going missed in case we don't see the runway. But for our case, considering we will be able to see the runway, if we will be able to see the runway, we're going to continue. And this is the cool part on the GPS. You guys remember the tutorial, when you finish the GPS track here, unless you do something with the fixed info, or you like use the range arcs or whatever to see the track or the distances, you have no actual guidance. You kind of have to eyeball it. Of course, you have references and you use them, but it is not as precise as here, because this is actually really cool. You can just continue on the radial 211 until 6, and then you just start the turn. And once you start the turn, you basically have to execute the same thing as on the GPS approach. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue onward at 1,000 feet. We're going to start the turn. I'll disconnect the autopilot for this one, even though I would prefer to fly it on autopilot, because I would be able to look outside of the window, and it would be easier to maintain altitude. But I will disconnect the autopilot for a reason, because the 747 here, it turns a bit steep with the heading, and I'm not very familiar with this airplane, so I prefer to kind of feel it with my hand, considering that we have a little bit of margin considering altitude. So we'll be turning here, and I will be positioning myself, maintaining 1,000 feet the longest I can. Why? Because there are two visual points here. This is Gelo, it's called ice because this is some factory here, at which we have to be at a minimum of 850 feet. So if we maintain 850 feet right here and 460 here at Rosario, which is another big building, which is actually located in the simulator, we will be perfectly established for this glide slope. I'm going to call it glide slope. So I'll maintain 1,000 feet almost until reaching Gilles, because from 1,000 feet to 850 is just 150 feet, and that takes a couple of seconds to disappear. So probably as we're going to be just, I don't know, just about here, I'll start my descent past Gilles at 850. I'll just continue my 3-degree descent. We'll watch our ground speed. We'll add a 0 divided by 2. That will give us our descent rate, and we'll just keep religiously maintaining that vertical speed until the very end. Alright, then line up on the runway, of course, and land. Now, what do we do if we have to go around, right? So we are on a visual approach, and if you are on a visual approach but you flew previously a instrument approach, you have to rejoin the instrument missed approach. So we would do exactly this. We would fly out, turn towards the right, and then I would keep a heading of 137 until I would intercept this outbound radial 170 for Fusul, and then I would do a offset entry here for to join the holding, or just, I don't know, we could assume that there is ATC or something else, and we could proceed per second. So this is the considerations that we'll have here. It's pretty good that we have all of this, because on this airplane, of course, being conventional navigation, there is no way that we can actually set any fixed info. We have no drawings of anything, so having a radial and a distance is very, very useful. So yeah, that's about it. And now, I don't know if Aviation Lifestyle 24 is still here, but oh, we have a traffic here. Yeah, we have. It seems like Norwegian, and he's 1,000 feet below us. Probably still far away, or inside the clouds. So now, for Aviation Lifestyle, regarding the way we're going to be descending, so I'm going to assume that here there's 7.5 miles here, and there are more than 7.5 miles here. So I'll just assume we have, let's assume 15 miles. Yeah, 15 miles should be good enough. So we have 15 miles of distance between these two here, or I could even consider a little bit less, and that's on purpose. That's on purpose so we can configure and slow down the clock. So let's assume between these two have 12 miles, and the other two, the other extra miles that there are here will be for deceleration and stabilization criteria. So I know that on a 3-degree descent, for each 1,000 feet we lose, we fly 3 miles. This is just basic geometry. So if I have 15 miles here, if I divide 15 by 3, that's going to be 5, right? So that's 5,000 feet that we have to lose here. So 3 plus 5 is going to be 8, and 8 is going to be the altitude, 8,000 feet, that I want to be above port center VOR. Okay, so now you ask me, okay, but how do I know when should I descend from my cruising level? Okay, you do almost exactly the same, and I'll even grab my paint here. So here's how you do it. You are flying at 370, okay? You want to be at 8,000 feet. Sounds good? So you just remove essentially the thousands, so you can just count like 37, and this is just 8, okay? You make 37 minus 8, that will give you 29. Okay? Then you put 29, because this is the difference of altitude that you have, and you multiply it by 3. This is 57. Alright, 57 nautical miles is what you have to, is when you have to descend from port cent to come from level 370 to 8,000 feet. Now, there are different techniques to do this later on, because the 3-degree descent accounts always for your ground speed. So let's assuming you are flying at 500 knots of ground speed, like we're flying right now, okay? How do you know at which rate of descent you have to descend? Usually this is how I do it. I add a 0 and I divide it by 2, and this is 2,500 feet a minute. So let's say you are doing an ILS. Next time you do an ILS, and let's say your ground speed is 140, okay? And you are hunting the glide slope constantly, you don't know how to get it. Add a 0, divide by 2, this will be 700 feet a minute. Try maintaining the 700 feet a minute, and you will see that the glide slope will be almost perfectly maintained. Okay, so am I going to do this exactly on this airplane? No. And there is a reason for that. Because if I do this, most probably what is going to happen is that this airplane flies a lot on lower altitude. So what I'll do is I'll have a slightly steeper descent as we are higher up. So I lose more altitude. And once the airplane will want to be flying a lot and being hard to descend, I can actually decrease my rate of descent to decrease the speed as well. Does that make any sense to you? Otherwise, I'll be just keeping that 3 degrees descent constantly. Then, of course, this here, what we calculated, 57 nautical miles, this does not account for any speed changes, for any headwind, for any tailwind, etc., etc. So, what does that mean? If you have a headwind blowing towards you, you're like on a, what is that called, like where people walk? Walking pad? Is that it? That thing where people can go to the gym and they can walk or run or whatever. So you're like on that when you are on the air. And essentially, you need to remember that you are flying according to the air, but your reference is on the ground. And the way that wind can affect you is very significant. So if you have a headwind, you're gonna fly more air miles than ground miles. Does that make any sense? On the other hand, if you have a tailwind, the tailwind is going to push you further. So you will spend less distance in the air because you are traveling with the wind. So for you, the wind is static. But it's not. It's moving with you in relation to the ground. So if you have a tailwind, usually what I believe is they add a mile per each 10 knots of tailwind. So now for us, we could of course check this on our planning. This is very useful. We actually do have a fair bit of tailwind. This is 50 knots here, so I believe possibly a component of probably 30 knots or even more could be possible. We can actually check this because look, our ground speed right now is 519. We have our true airspeed right now, right here, which is 400 and roughly 80 knots. So in fact, we have a tailwind component of almost 40 knots. Okay, so I would add to that distance plus 4 for tailwind. And I want to add another 10 just because I want to lose some speed. I don't want to go over Port Santo full-blown 320 knots or whatever, because we will be flying this descent pretty fast and I want to lose that speed. So this totalizes as 71 miles from Port Santo. So I can even round this up to 72 just because I feel like. And this is our top of descent calculation. Does this make any sense to you guys? Pretty good. Pretty good. In fact, let me see. Oh, we have the radial reading, but not the distance yet. So I'll be looking. Heading about 230 now. About 230, and let's see. Yeah, we still have some time. We still have some time. So this is what I planned as a descent. Sasha, what graphical settings are you using? Can you show? Yes, I can. So you can take a screenshot. Here are my graphical settings. They are not amazing. So that's about it. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Oh, it's funny how you can see the engine we last started and the engine that we first started. Oh, this one has actually used more fuel. Interesting. They're not linear. Quite interesting. Oh, perhaps because of the APU as well. Maybe because of the APU as well. I'm not sure if the APU actually accounts for this one. Don't know. But we are good. Speaking of this diversion fuel, let me remember. remind myself, diversion of fuel is 18.3. We'll assume 18.3, always round it up. 18.3, and we still have 25.4. We're not too far from it. Sasha, I have a weak computer too, but your settings are even lower than mine. Yeah, it's possible, because I am live streaming as well. I am live streaming, and I don't have a lot of VRAM. I'm just capped at 8 gigs. So if you have 12 gigs, you can push some of the settings even higher up. But streaming does take a toll on your performance. Alright, additionally, is this already accounting for the correct airport? Or it doesn't need to. So let's set the data from Madeira latest METAR here, and let's check our landing distances. I'm live streaming to this game, and I have RX 760 8 gigs. Well, good for you, man. Be happy. Be happy that it works well for you. But anyway, even like this, the picture is very nice. I like old school games. Thank you. Oh, what the hell, wait. Did I, No, that's fine. I just saw this jagged shadow, and I thought, well, didn't I apply the thing? But I did. It's not jagged here, I guess, just because of the surface. Alright, let's set this up. So, runway length. Yeah, I need to change this. I need to absolutely change this. So, let's go. Runway length in meters, 2781. 2781, but the landing distance is probably a bit less than that. Can I get charts, please? Taxi reference. Alright, let's assume that one. It's fine. Alright, 2781. So let's come here. 27. Oh, I can set 2781. Okay, let it be 270. Airport elevation is sitting at 191, so we can assume that would be 200. And the runway heading is 049, so 050. Runway slope, I'll assume 0. Dry outside air temp will be 18 degrees. That's set. QNH 1024. About there. And the wind is 030 at 11. So, auto brakes. Now, this is the funny thing. We should be able to land, according to commercial operations, we should be able to land within 60% of the landing distance available. So, in fact, we have... Oh, that's the pressure change. Okay. We have the 2,700 meters of runway, but dude, I thought X-Plane actually fixed these stupid pressure changes. 2,700, but we can only use 1,620. Are they joking with me? Yeah, they are. So we can only use 1,620. So we need to find out which auto brakes here actually fit within, and that's maximum. That's what we'll be using. So auto brakes max, flaps full, of course, and yep. Right now VRF of 141. Of course, we're gonna lose some speed, some weight in the meantime. But yeah, and yay! Look, we've got our readings. We are 161. 161. out of Port Center, and I wanted to be descending at 72, so 72, top of descent. So we are running about roughly 85 miles till top of descent. Look at that pressure. Changes. This is X-plane. Synchronous fire, but Vlad, your new CPU helps a lot with the performance. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, the pressure is going crazy. I'll put the seatbelt sign on. I have AMD Ryzen 5700X 8-core CPU, but it looks like the game wants more cores or more modern CPU. Yeah, it's quite CPU heavy. Explain, yes it does. Of which Austin said the aim would be to transfer the flight model calculations to the GPU. Oh boy. I guess then my GPU is just simply gonna die. What's going on with this weather changes? Does Microsoft Flight Simulator work on a computer? I'm considering purchasing it, but not sure if it will work on my potato. I don't know. 2020 never worked for me. It was only crashing, constantly crashing, in fact, and I could never get it to work. So I cannot talk about the new one. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Flying fast, man. We are flying pretty fast. What is this pressure change, man? I thought they fixed that. Let's see, where's snacks? There's snacks and there is mono. Flying nicely. Yeah, man, I'm flying fast. I'm flying at Mach 85. I wanna speed this up. I'm doing this on purpose. You're welcome, Sasha. And have fun, man. Enjoy the flight sims. Awesome Pigeon. Awesome name. Welcome to live stream. Hi everyone. I'm very happy to catch a stream and an interesting one at that. Oh yeah. You're very welcome. Today's indeed a quite interesting one. It is indeed a quite interesting one. I hope I hope the winds are going to be merciful with me, because yeah, it's not easy managing the energy of this quite heavy bird into Madeira. Alright, I have some time. I need another toilet break. I'll be back in a second. You guys watch the plane, okay? And I'm back. Okay, not too bad. I see the pressure changes are still quite funny. Sunshine, I'm flying a CRJ 1000 later, but beside that I'm more to helicopter flying. Oh, cool! I am terrible at helicopter flying. But I guess that was always trying to persuade me into flying helicopters, but I'm not amazing. Not amazing. Snacks, yes, we watch. We'll yell if something happens. Dude, I'm getting quite pissed with this pressure changes. This is quite bad. This is actually quite bad. I might even send a bug report with this. Set this. I'm even going to save the log. Explain 12. Where's the log? Log. There was a bunch of logs that you had to send, right? Log, this one, that one, and this one, I think. I think that was it. I'm going to save these. Cute. Copy's done. Okay. Good, so 91 miles. We wanted to start at 72, so we're almost there. Signs are on. QNH 1024 and 1024. Let's set it on the standby here already. That's 3024. So 1024. 3024 set. I'll leave this for now. This is actually ridiculous. Alright, let's go. Heading. We're about 030. Switch this to heading. Switch this to radio. Switch that one to radio. Initial 114.9. Course 2. Oops. I want this one. Direct to station. Catch here the course 230. And I didn't even do the approach briefing. Holy cow. Alright, very simple. We talked about the approach. That's what we're going to be doing. Flaps full, auto brake max. That's all set. And let's do descent checklist. Humidifier, we didn't switch that on. Pressurization, landing altitude. Well, set that. 024 here. And let's set almost sea level. Like that. Annunciator lights, no signs, seatbelt signs are on. They're 72, so let's do that, and let's do it like that. Yeah, the auto thrust went off. Let's do that. And we'll do speed for now. Change it already to GA mode. Alright, auto brake set, will assign set landing data. Let me get this from the sim again, and let's set the bugs. Bugs are set, good. Approach briefing was complete, descent checklist is complete, down we go. Warlock. And now we want to set to 61. And 211 on the other one, so let's go 211 here. This is going to be for Madeira already. And later it's going to be 261 for the next one. Papa Kilo, do you have the FPS 7478i? If yes, what do you think of the latest update? Hello and welcome to livestream. I do not have it, but Synchroflyer actually has it, so I cannot really talk about it too much. So yeah, sorry. But I ended up not getting it. Synchroflyer, I hope we have a safe landing. Oh, I hope as well. Yes, I'll do my best. I will do my best. 52 miles to go. Lovely. Snacks, I have started my descent as well. Good. I'll be watching your landings as well. I'll be watching those. Alright, it's confirmed. Speed is set. Altitude, we wanted 8,000. Altitude selected is set. I'm using vertical speed now, so that we descend a little bit faster. I feel like we're a bit high. Power is on idle. Auto throttle is off for now. This is speed and GA is armed. Good. Let's go all the way to 320. Alright, 122.8 is set, that's correct. All is good. Still feel like we are a bit high. Let's check. 26 minus 8 is gonna be 18. 18 times 3 is gonna be 54. And we are, yeah, we are definitely high. Kind of messed up that descent then. Let's help it a little bit with our post-boarding speed brake. $114.9. You can also listen to the ident to make sure that it's the correct one. Yep, that's the correct one. You check it with the Morse code and check the Madeira one, the Funchal. Should be dot 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 dash dot then 2. Yep, that's it. Fantastic. We are looking good. Alright, 22 minus 8, or 21 minus 8 is 13. 13 times 3 is 29. Yeah, we're catching up now. We're catching up now. I'm starting to see some terrain there. Excellent. Synchroflyer, stay with the SSG FPS is not really worth the upgrade yet. Well, I hope it will in the future. I'd love to have a proper 7478. And there's the island of Port Santo. We're definitely flying quite fast. -19 minus 1 minus 8 is 11, and times 3 is 33. Yeah, we're still not there. It seems like the tailwind is incredible here. How did I mess up this descent so hard? Did I do my calculations wrong? Oh yes, I did. It's not 72. God damn it. It should have been 82. No, wait. Yeah, I did my calculation wrong. Nobody told me, guys. 37 minus 8 is 29, right? 29 times 3 was 87, and I calculated 60 something. Oh god. Yeah, we're more than 15 miles. More than 15 miles. Well, we'll see if I can catch up. Here's what I'll try possibly to do. Let's level off here. Level off-ish. Let's start to decrease some speed. Let's do 200. That's speed, that's set, that's set. Alright. Well, I can do a racetrack at the Busu. We don't need to hurry, to be honest. We do not need to hurry. Let's switch to heading mode here. Outbound will be at 261. Let's go flaps 1. Let's start the turn here for the intercept. I don't think we'll be able to lose this much in such a short time. There's the VOR, you can see it turning. Yeah, there we go. Just head for Warmock. I'll switch to heading. It's too aggressive on the capture. Alright, good. Can I deploy flaps 5? What's the limitation? 250 knots. I can. Let's go flaps 5. Messed up that descent calculation amazingly. Guys, you're not paying attention. You should be my trustworthy co-pilots. Alright, set to 3,000 now. And we're approaching 10,000 feet as well. Lights on, logo, and let's go. Ignition continues. Lights on, altimeters, let's set and cross-check. Okay, now until 7.5 miles, let's turn. Almost let that sleep. I even let that sleep quite a bit. Passing 9,000. And now I will be using on the both sides 119.2. And I'll set 170 on this one. Alright, let me remove this. Busu is at 8 miles. So 10 miles until Busu. Let's just do a shallow descent and we'll do one racetrack procedure to lose some altitude. Madeira traffic, Air Portugal 3841 Heavy is established on the VOR inbound to Busu. We'll do one racetrack procedure at the Busu, descending to 3000. Or maybe I could have done it. Let's see. Yeah, I think we could have done it. Until 8, we need until 7. Yeah, I think I could have done it. Let it intercept. 3000, yeah, we can do it. And Madeira traffic, Air Portugal 3841, disregard lost transmission. We'll do a straight in VOR approach, runway 05. Okay, that's set. 13 miles, passing 5,000. Let's set QNH 1024. 1024 set, 1024 is set, 1024 is set, and set. We're looking good, speed is good. Let's decel even more. If we can. Oh, it's the heading. 11 miles. Flaps 10, 238 is the limit. Okay, I could go for flaps 10 actually.
Madeira traffic at 1219 approach Charlie on Luzon holding in front of the Mike Alpha 522 for approach on the 805.
Alright, there we are. Altitude capture. Remove the speed brake.
On the Madeira traffic of UT8 actually no, we want on the go round will be directing to Billy to
Oh boy, what is happening there? Somebody's doing a go around. There's 8. We're almost leveling off. Almost at 7. Let's go flaps 10. Probably keep descending. Yeah, let's keep descending. Let's do vertical speed. Minus 1,000. 7 miles. Yep, slightly higher. That's good. Let's continue. Let's put the gear down. Speed brake armed, lights on. Descent to 170. Gear will slow the airplane properly now. We just reset the weights here. Speeds are still the same, 145. Ground speed 230. That seems good.
Madeira traffic at 1219 direct shuttle and final 105.
It's checked. One guy on final. We'll reduce the vertical speed just a tiny bit. To minus 1,000. Set the radio altimeter here to 1,200. Might get a GPWS warning here. That's gonna be normal. Let's go flaps 20. And I'll maintain heading for now because the VOR is gonna be a bit messy. There's altitude selection. We are a bit low, quite low. Should have passed it above 1,430. Yeah, we were definitely lower than that. We received the warning now. No, we didn't get the warning. There we go. That's assumed. Once we pass it over, we get a nice reading. Let's keep it on the heading, keep it on the heading. Flaps 25. Leveled. Good. Flaps full, 145. Set. Keep it on the heading. On the radial. And let's go. Landing checklist. Ignition. Flight start. Missed approach. We'll set 3,000 feet. Altitude hold. 3,000 feet is set. Speed brake is armed. Gear down. Green. Flaps. Green light. EPR mode. GA is set. Cabin is secure. Landing checklist is complete. That was a bit messy on the approach, I can tell you. Alright, we are on the heading. And that's wind, by the way. Madeira Traffic Air Portugal 3841 Heavy is on the visual circling for the runway 05. There's 3 miles.
Traffic up Skull 1, Madeira, Echo Charlie, runway 05 located.
We go, they got vacated, good. We are 3.6. We can see the runway just perfectly. I don't like the fact that we are moving like that, but yeah, this is the missed approach. So if we wouldn't be able to see the runway now, we would have to be turning left. But we continue straight ahead until 60 ME, then continue. Oh man, I don't like this wind. 145 is set. I do not like this wind. Reset my throttle position. 5 miles. That's the factory right there. 5.8. 6, that's off, auto thrust off, autopilot off, flight directors off. Let's start the turn, shallow. Keep the speed, keep the attitude. This is the hardest part. Oh. Didn't switch off properly. Okay. Oh, yeah, dude. It's windy. It is properly windy.
Madeira shortly approach over 169 or have the passing of booster conducting for a delay running 5 approach.
Oh my god, it is difficult. Speed. Okay, this is the factory. Let's start descending slowly. Check speed, speed. A little bit below 850 now, correcting. Alright, runway is in sight. And I believe we should be recovered now. Okay, I see 2 whites. I saw 2 whites, 2 reds. Yep, that's 2 whites, 2 reds. Good. Holy shit. You guys cannot believe how hard this is. I'll put the yoke for you so you guys can see my inputs.
500.
Checked. A bit low, correcting. Don't overdo it. Shit, I did overdo a little bit there on the correction. Speed is good. Power is good. A bit high. No, my pedals skidded.
50, 40,
Idle.
30, 20, 10.
And speed brakes were up. Reverses. Normal. Holy hell. And we're deselling brakes. Manual. And there's 60 knots. Oh my god. That's off. Stop the clock. Start the chrono. Whew, my gosh. Dude, that was hard. Oh my god. Alright. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. We'll open the outflow valves, just start the APU. Start to turn here. Body gear steering. Don't stop. Now we'll find the gear is below us, so we're actually doing a nice turn. Oh my god. This was hard. Alright, disarm the speed brake, disarm the flaps, lights off. Weather radar standby. This can go to off, transponder to transponding. And of course, strobe lights off. Madeira traffic, Air Portugal 3841 heavy, runway 05 vacated. Holy cow.
Madeira traffic at Portugal 1689 are going around rear to high.
Okay, someone is... Oh, that's the 742, that's mono on the 742 as well. Man, this was... I'm sweating. Holy shit. I'll be parking on one of these positions. Whew. Okay, do we have APU? We need to aft cargo heat off. Let's do after landing, body gear steering armed, auto brakes off, ignition off, trim. We'll reset that to about 3 units. I'll leave it on 4 units. Alright, let's park here on Alpha 13. That's 7 units, crap. It's literally written there. 2 marshallers, interesting. Alright, turn off lights off. Okay, let me do this to 7 then. Seven units is set. That's normal. Transponder, transponding, weather radar standby off. APU started. Galley power will be off. And pressurization, we will put manual. Outflow valves are open. Aft cargo heat is off. After landing checklist is complete. I'm gonna be able to see the guy.
Madeira traffic for Ryanair 385 Alpha, turning base leg runway 05, Madeira traffic.
Tazzy, hey, good to see you here. Gotta grease it again. No, screw the grease, man. Mono said the wind has changed. It's 02014 gusting 24. Holy cow, that explains a lot. Alright, parking brake is set. We've got all on. APU is on. So let's switch on the APU. And let's switch off the engines. So 4, 1, 2, 3. And stop this one. Stop that one. Why did it switch off? Didn't the APU start? No! I thought I pressed it. Oh no! What a massive fail. I was sure that the APU started. Wasn't it started? the light's extinguished. Alright, well, screw it. This off, that's stripped. And we need off, 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 and off. That's normal. Leave the AP bleed on, and that's it, right? Yeah, I think so. Probes off. I'll leave the window heat, seatbelt sign off. Parking checklist. Parking brake is set. Chocks. Connect GPU. Set the chocks. I'll wait for the rest of the stuff. Probe heat off, lights off, AP ground power on, bleed valves off. Air-driven pumps are off. And fuel panel is set. Good. Parking checklist is complete. We did 1 hour and 18 minutes of flight time, block time 134. That was pretty good. There's snacks. No, I missed his landing. Crap. And there is somebody paused there. The Ryanair is paused probably to let the Tupolev F pass. Whew. Okay. There goes the Ryanair. It's on pause now. Snacks, I hope you recorded the landing and you will be able to post it on the Discord. That Ryanair seems a little bit high. Nah, it's actually seems alright. Where's Mono? Mono did the missed approach and he's gonna go for the visual, probably direct. There's a visual direct from there. Ryanair is quite steady. There we go. Well done. Alright, so while Snacks parks the airplane, Snacks, my airplane is at stand Alpha 13. So while you get your parked, I will do the replay. Let's watch the replay, guys, and then we'll do the final screenshot with all of us here. So Mono is going to Abusu. Alright, let's watch the replay real quick. Felis is not amazing in terms of replay stuff, but let's see how we do. I salvaged, alright. Oh, we even have sound. Oh boy. Well, that wasn't smooth, but it was within the zone. It was within the zone, and I totally take that. This one was scary. Nah, I take that. I completely take that. Because that was a gust. A second later, we would be floating the hell out of the rest on the rest of the runway. So I completely take that. Let's watch passenger view. The wing bouncing left and right. Look at that. Woo! Wasn't terrible. Do we have the G camera? Yeah, we have the G camera. So the G camera didn't actually shake that much. I want to see how were we in terms of centerline. Yeah, centerline was not perfect. But I'd take that. Yeah, the speed there went -5 like in a second. And here it went almost -10. Yeah, this is where I cut the power. That was a gust. That was a gust. Whew. Alright. Not too bad. Let's leave it here. AP is running. Yes, it is. Connect external power now. Oh, wait. Set shocks GPU. Now I can open the door. Doors in this case. And I think that'll be it. We set GPU on. Shut this off. And external stuff. Let's put some cleaning van, put this guy in, put this guy in. Bus, cones, and people. Connect again to VATSIM so we can see everybody. Where's Snacks? Oh no, Snacks disconnected. He's not here, right? No, he's not here. Alright, oh. Aviator. Welcome. Hi sir, are you using beautiful Madeira scenery? No, this is something else. This is a different scenery. It doesn't have the perfect, the right sloped runway that you are supposed to have with Madeira. But the problem is, the other scenery, for me, it gives me a huge performance penalty, and this one doesn't. So, while this is a little bit simpler, so it doesn't look as beautiful as the other one, like you cannot see the correct arc here, the road is a little bit botched, this side right here doesn't have the correct pillars, but at least I do not have the FPS performance, and this is why I use this one. Alright, let's wait for Mono, if he's not too far off. Where is he? Oh, where is Mono? Oh, I don't see him. Mono, where are you? Guys just disappeared. I wanted to take a screenshot with them. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna take this one then, like that. And this will be it. Sorry, wonderful Madeira scenery, my bad. I got it, I understood it, I still answered your question. Well guys, this is it for today. I am gonna go. Well, my PC couldn't stand seeing my poor descent planning and decided to quit. Oh, it just paused. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's annoying. Oh well. Alright, well. Yeah. I never came back again. RIP. That's really unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Guys, thank you very much still for flying with me, Mono. That was great to see that 747 in Lisbon. It was great to see you on the go around there. Thank you, Snacks, as well. And for the rest of the people. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this planning. This little flight to Madeira. It was a bit of a mess there on the descent because I didn't catch up my mental math mistake with the calculation, and instead of putting 87 nautical miles, I think I calculated 67, so that's 20 miles less than we should have had, and it felt a little bit weird, but I thought, well, we're not descending to a lower altitude, so perhaps that could be it. Yep, wrong me, but hey, that's what simulators are for, and that's why it's good to have this kind of situations to learn. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll have to go now. Thank you very much for your support. We'll see you next week for something else. I don't know. We had a couple of topics, one of which was airplane weights. We wanted to do a proper load sheet of a big jet airplane, and we also wanted to do a full flight preparation with a smaller airplane like a Baron or a Cirrus. So we'll see what's what, and I'll see you there, guys. Have a great week, great rest of the weekend first, and then a great next weeks. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.